I've got a very long list of things that I want to learn to do. This is one of those lists that seems to get added to rather a lot. In fact, I have many more new ideas and many more things that I wish I could do than I actually have time to do them in. I wonder if this is why people who are retired frequently seem to comment that they're busier than they were when they were working. I often find myself saying, I wish I had time to have a go at this, and wondering when I might eventually find the opportunity. I know someone who, in the year that they turned 80, decided that they were going to learn one new skill every year from that point on. I don't really want to wait that long to start, and some of the things on my list are quite small really. Although there are many languages and musical instruments on my list which would require quite a large time commitment, there are also lots of other little things, and I'm chipping away at these as and when I can. In the last couple of months, I've managed to learn some new crochet techniques, and I've even experimented with making something of my own design. I've also knitted one sock, and I hope that maybe next week I can get started on the other one so that I do end up with a pair eventually. And yesterday I made donuts, which were reasonably successful. There are improvements to be made to the donuts, it has to be said, but my daughter is very keen that we try to keep on at it over the next few days while she's still on the school holiday, so that we can perfect the recipe and the technique. This is the time of year for new things, not least because of the signs of spring that are emerging all around us. I'm hoping that the weather will soon realise that it's supposed to be spring, as it's definitely still feeling rather wintry at the moment, temperature-wise. Many people will also be looking forward at the moment to the return of some old things. Shops, hairdressers, leisure centres and pubs opening up again in the days ahead. And I'm sure that all those things that we have missed will in some ways seem like new things when they reopen again. I hope that we might look at them with new eyes at least, and take some time to think about what we appreciate about them and to be grateful. Though it probably won't be too long before we start to take them for granted all over again. The trouble with a lot of new things is that very quickly they don't seem new anymore. You buy something new for your house or your wardrobe, and within a few days you don't notice it anymore. It's as though it's always been there. So then you feel the need to buy something else. There's probably something in many of us that enjoys that feeling of possessing something new, even though it is so often a fleeting emotion. For some people, acquiring the new thing becomes a way of life. We redecorate and renovate and update our clothes and hope that we can make ourselves feel better about our lives. But we'll never feel better until we realise that the problem wasn't the decor or the dress after all. The problem often lies within us, and until we attend to ourselves, no amount of reshuffling our living space or changing our clothes will make any long-standing difference. I think this is another fact of human nature, that we always look to blame someone or something else for the way that we feel or the problems that we face, and so we often look for solutions outside ourselves as well. I regularly find myself thinking, I need to reorganise the house, or I need to have a good sort out and get rid of some of this clutter, or I need to tackle my bad eating or exercise habits. But actually I think it's generally my internal clutter that has an impact on everything else. There are things in my mind that need some time and attention, some sorting and sifting and ordering, some prayerful contemplation and offering to God. And if I can be prepared to look at them, if I can be willing to invite God to do the business that needs to be done there, then I know that there's a much stronger chance that I can make some physical changes for the better too. This is the time of year for new things. This is the season of Easter, which is all about newness. It's all about God breaking through into our world and into our lives in a radically new way. In the last few days, there's been a lot of media coverage about the death of Prince Philip, and one thing in particular stood out for me among the many things that have been said. On Radio 4 on Saturday, a reporter commented that many younger people perhaps have a rather one-dimensional picture of Prince Philip. We don't know what he was like as a younger man. We've only seen him in frailer and less filtered times, when he has hit the news for opening his mouth and putting his foot in it. This particular reporter applauded the fact that a much fuller picture of Prince Philip has been in the public arena in recent days. And he said, "In some ways, it's only in his death that he has become fully alive. It's only in his death that he has become fully alive." And this struck with me. This is the season of the year in which we are invited to focus specifically on the new thing that God did in the resurrection of Jesus. This is Easter. Easter is all about new things. This is about Jesus who passed through death in order to become fully alive and fully active in our world for all time and in all places. This is about Jesus. It is only in his death that we can become fully alive. So in Jesus, God invites us into a world of new things. God invites us to live with a new focus, with new priorities, with a new awareness of the needs of others, with a new passion and new motivation. God challenges us to let love shape our living, both our being and our doing. God calls us to acknowledge those things in our lives that have not yet been made new, and to open them up to the transforming work of the Holy Spirit in us. The new things that we can be drawn to seek and acquire so often do not last. And even the new things that I've tried to learn come with varying degrees of success. There are lots of things around me that I've started but haven't managed to finish yet. Someone in one of my craft groups commented the other day that she's realised she's a starter, not a finisher. She loves the excitement of starting a new project, and she's always abandoning things partway through so that she can get started on something else. She hopes that by joining a group she can be encouraged to keep on going and actually get some of these half-done things completed. A bit of mutual support, encouragement and accountability can help us get so much further than we can go on our own. If we step out into this adventure with God, we can experience the thrill of newness every day. As the hymn goes, "Morning by morning, new mercies I see." God is always seeking to do a new thing in us and with us, and every day we receive new blessings, new touches of love and wonder, new gifts of grace. At the same time, we're also called to be finishers, to keep on running the race or walking the path, to be open to God throughout our lives, so that God might complete God's work in us. It's a new thing, and yet it's a tale as old as time, to quote my favourite Disney song. We are loved with an everlasting love, a love that is new every morning, and yet that existed for us right from the very beginning, before we even came into being. In God, we are blessed with both the comfort of the constant and familiar and the excitement and adventure of a new thing every day. We are held and protected, and yet we are also called out and beyond. So I'm working on donuts this week, and maybe even another sock. But I think the new thing I want to learn most is to be increasingly open to the Spirit in every moment of the day, so that I can recognise and wonder at and appreciate the new things that God is doing. I want more of God's newness to refresh my life. I want to be able to see and understand myself to be loved by God. I want to know and to recognise myself as one of God's very own precious new things.